Everybody, we're going to be getting started very soon. We're just working through a couple of technical issues, and we should be good to go here in about 3 minutes. Thank you for your patience. Good evening, everybody. Can you guys hear us in the chat? Let's see the ones fly in the chat if you're ready for us to go, if you can hear us loud and clear. And if you're ready to go down a deep, deep, dark, very dark rabbit hole this evening. You know, this is something that I never even dawned on us, I don't think, at least not me, to cover this kind of stuff. But, you know, abuse comes in a lot of different shapes and a lot of different, you know, ways that we may not think of. And I think this is a pretty good example of that. This is some really deprived, sick stuff. You know, let me see the number 2 in the chat. If you guys have a pet that you love and that you beat someone's ass if they did any kind of funky thing with your pet. Sophia, what in the world would you do if somebody touched your fur baby?
I'm not sure I can answer that on live stream.
It'd be bad.
It would be very bad.
It would be very, very, very bad. So join us tonight. We're going to try doing things a little bit different tonight. We're eating up a whole ton of bandwidth in doing this. So hopefully everything shows to you guys nice and smooth. If it doesn't, I might have to adjust things like the bit rate and all that kind of fun stuff that I'm just starting to learn about. But without further ado, honey, what do you say we just jump right into this thing? If I can find my mouse. I got like 3 monitors going here. Got the invisible mystery mouse here. Okay, all right, here we go. Let's get our screen share going. Let's start with these 3 gentlemen right here. Horses, cows, goats, and dogs. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you're seeing it right here. Oh boy. I should have had something to drink before we went down this rabbit hole. This is just scary stuff. All right, without further ado.
3 sick Pennsylvania men have been arrested for sexually assaulting more than a dozen farm animals over a 5-year period. The 3 men, identified as 31-year-old Matthew Brubaker, 34-year-old Mark Miesnikoff, and 41-year-old Terry Wallace, were sentenced to 20 to 41 years for forcing themselves on a cow, a goat, 9 horses, and an unspecified number of dogs. All men were charged with more than 1,400 criminal counts for animal cruelty, sexual intercourse with animals, and corrupting a minor. An unidentified teenage boy was allegedly tasked with restraining the animals while the trio committed the bizarre crimes. The horses that were assaulted by the men were all said to be females and were placed in the care of the Pennsylvania Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals.
Oh, I mean, can you even imagine? I'm going to hold my commentary here, and we'll try to get through this story while I try to formulate some kind of response.
How were the
to
men
this.
caught? The three men were initially arrested in 2018 after the 16-year-old boy told state police all three were committing the horrible acts. The teenager was taken into protective custody, and thankfully showed no signs of sexual abuse. Pennsylvania State Police obtained a search warrant for the makeshift farm, where the men and the boy lived, and found a large volume of homemade videos, recording equipment, and cameras. While searching the barn, they found the men had constructed a special holding pen in the shape of a V to facilitate sex with the animals. Prosecutors say the animal abuse began in 2014 and occurred on a weekly basis. Mesnikov's lawyer, Joseph Ryan, battled the 20 to 41-year sentence, saying it is what someone would get for third-degree murder. Mesnikov stated, "They did not molest children, they did not hurt people. What he did is disgusting, but what he needs is help, not a 20 to 41-year prison sentence." Safe to say the judge, Paul Cherry, quickly criticized the lawyer, calling Mesnikov a sick man, because the fact that this man is trying to defend him by saying that he didn't hurt anyone is ridiculous. This man sexually assaulted poor defenseless animals that couldn't fight back. In what kind of twisted world is this okay? It's not, and these men deserve what they got.
Oh boy, honey, what's going on in the chat?
Basically, everyone's saying it's disgusting. Ew. Poor horses, Jesus Christ, gross. Some people are talking about hillbillies. Wow, 40 years for animals, but when they do it to kids, they don't even get as much.
Fact! Who said that one? Let's give somebody some credit for that. That is a great point. That is an outstanding freaking point. Look at Robert Robertson right here, in our local central Maine community. For you folks that aren't familiar with it, I guess I'll suggest that you look it up on our channel. There's plenty of information there. But this man essentially was already a registered sex offender. Got I believe it was a 13-year-old girl pregnant, and gets out of jail after, I think it was like 6 months. Gets 3 years of probation. Gets through that. Starts going around town taking pictures of kids all over the place in a sexual manner. They find child porn on his computer after already being a registered sex offender. Gets 2 years. Now, I'm not saying that these three gentlemen should have less time. I'm just saying this guy has a very good point. How is it that a guy like Robert Robertson gets 2 years and these guys get 40?
It's cringe fest, by the way.
Cringe fest. Thank you. Very valid point. 13F Kayla says, shit, Wisconsin only recently put necrophilia on the books. No joke. With all the bullshit laws we have going on, you can't do anything anymore. I think you're going to get charged with too much fun in a no-fun zone. There's so many laws. And they're just putting laws on the books now about having sex with dead people. I'm staying the hell out of Wisconsin.
Halloween Mass Dude just said bestiality is sadly legal in Canada still.
Oh, I know just who to talk to about this one. I'm going to have to call up my old buddy 21st Century, man. We're going to have to get some Canadian lobbyists working hard on this one. This one just ain't right. 21st Century, man, if you're hearing this, man, you got to do something. You got to do something, man. We can't have everybody going around fucking horses, sheep, donkeys. There's one in here, I crap you not. One of our stories this evening is about having sex with a guinea pig. Like, what is wrong with people? How do you wake up one day and go, I'm gonna fuck the guinea pig? What is going on? And is this next story demonstrates, I think that some things lead to other things, which lead to other things. And I don't think you just wake up one day and fuck the guinea pig. Just the same as I don't think you wake up one day and go, I'm gonna try to have sex with a 13-year-old girl. I think that there's essentially a domino effect, and that one leads to the next, which leads to the next, and it's scary, scary business. And that's why I thought it was kind of relevant to do a show like this. there's so many forms of sexual abuse in the world. I don't even think anybody really sheds a light on. Now, granted, we're going from news articles, so I mean, it does get out there. But how often do people really talk about this? Does anybody in the chat, maybe we'll take some calls here after the end of our articles. If you guys have known anybody that this has happened to, if it's happened in your local community, if you've got a story to tell, start thinking about what you want to say. We might actually take some of your stories here in a little bit, because honestly, I believe that this is way more prevalent than anybody would think. All right, are we ready for our next story? Is everybody, stop puking in their mouth? Or if you're going to puke, get it out of the way now.
Can I just say that they used a 16-year-old boy to help them? Basically forced him to do so.
That's also a very valid point. This 16-year-old kid, who apparently lived with the three gentlemen, was forced to essentially hold these animals down. Now, I didn't see anything in there about child abuse, but that should certainly be considered child abuse. Thank God this 16-year-old kid had the courage to go tell somebody. Tell somebody.
I mean, it was bad enough they put him in protective custody.
Yeah, I mean, thank God. I mean, I hate to use the word hillbillies. I love country people. I've lived way deep out in the sticks before, and I have been in love with it. But these hillbillies, and I'm going to call them that. The country people aren't hillbillies, but these are hillbillies. These right here are hillbillies. And thank God this kid had, the courage to go ahead and tell somebody. And can you imagine, what that took? What that child had to really, think about, okay, how do I tell somebody this? How in the world did I explain this to somebody and have them take me seriously? Thank God somebody did. And kudos to whoever had to, field that story and do something about it. There's some crazy stuff in this world today. All right, here we go. Here's the next one. Give me just a second here.
In the meantime, in Canada, you can get arrested for misgendering someone, but sexually abusing animals is A-okay.
How
is that even possible?
Racking my brain trying to figure that one out. All right, take a look at this guy. Now, he looks like the neighbor next door, right? He looks like every guy you might see in the grocery store. The guy pumping gas at the pump next to you doesn't really stand out and go, fucking creep. Well, guess what, folks? This guy is definitely a creep, and this story is coming directly out of Louisiana. Without further ado. I say that and everything lags out.
Bossier City, Louisiana. A Bossier City police officer has been arrested for filming himself having sex with an animal. 38-year-old Terry Yitman was arrested on December 19 and charged with 20 counts of sexual abuse of animals by performing sexual acts with an animal, and 20 counts of filming sexual acts with an animal, according to the Louisiana State Police. Yetman, a Bossier City police officer, was the recipient of the 2018 Trey Hutchison Award, which is presented by the Bossier Domestic Task Force to officers who champion the rights of domestic violence victims and their families. Detectives with the Louisiana State Police Special Victims Unit began an investigation into Yetman's activities in August, and that investigation resulted in a search warrant for Yetman's residence.
Too many things running here at once.
Detectives found pornography involving sexual acts with an animal on electronic devices belonging to Yetman, according to the LSP. Yetman turned himself in when he learned warrants had been issued for his arrest. He is currently being held at the Bossier Max Correctional Center on a $350,000 bond, according to the LSP. The investigation is still open and may result in additional charges. The Louisiana State Police Special Victims Unit urges anyone who may have information about individuals engaged in this type of illegal activity.
Oh my God. What is this? This is another case where this guy's bail is $350,000. How often do we see this kind of stuff happen to children and the bail's, $20,000, $25,000-$30,000. That tells me, and I hate to say this, I hate that this even has to come out of my mouth, but it seems to me that our legislators take this kind of thing a bit more serious. I think it's all serious. I think doing this to an animal, doing this to a child, doing this to an elderly person, I think it should all be categorized the same. You're a sick motherfucker, and you're going to stay in jail. You're just going to stay there. Or some kind of mental institute, however they want to do it, but they certainly shouldn't be free to walk the streets again. What's going on in the chat, Sophie?
We had to wait a couple of seconds just so everybody can get their words in, but most of it was just saying their instances and their states at the beginning. And the way this guy looks, somebody said it looks like he was trying to kiss him.
Right, he looks like he's going in.
I guess there's a YouTube channel called the Rep Life channel that sexualizes reptiles eating each other's animals alive. Okay.
You said that's a YouTube channel?
Yep. Apparently it's Reptile Channel.
All
That's
right.
what it's called.
Whoever put that out, if you could please.
Halloween Mask Dude.
At the end of this, Halloween Mask Dude, at the end of this live stream, if you could do me a favor, if you're so inclined, could you put a comment in the video, or excuse me, in the comments section, and we're going to check that out. We'll also pin it so that everybody else can check that story out too. That's craziness. All right, let's get on to the next one here. We've got a lot to cover tonight. I thought that when we did this, I would, I'd maybe, find 20 articles and wind it down to like 5 or 6. I found hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of articles. Narrowed it down to like 25 and then got it down to around 12. This is not an uncommon thing. I think we'd all like to think that this is an uncommon thing. We don't want to think that this kind of thing's going on. But believe me, it's going on. All right, let's get on to the next one here. This is the same guy, but I guess like I was talking about the domino effect thing, here we go. Oops, sorry, folks, I'm trying here. Bear with me.
Bossier City, Louisiana. A Louisiana police officer charged in December with 40 counts of sexually abusing a dog was arrested again Friday and charged with 31 counts of possessing child pornography. Terry Yetman, 38, of Minden, was booked into the Bossier Parish Jail with a bond of $620,000, the Shreveport Times reported. According to jail records, Yetman remained jailed Tuesday morning. The details of the new charges have not been made public. But KTBS in Shreveport reported that Louisiana State Police troopers and members of the U.S. Marshals Violent Offenders Task Force arrested Yetman at his home Friday. He had been out of jail on bond just 2 days when he was rearrested.
In the absolute world.
Yetman, who has been a Bossier City police officer since 2014, was initially placed on administrative leave in November following an investigation that began in August with a tip to state police officials. That investigation led detectives to obtain a search warrant for Yetman's electronic devices, on which they found evidence of pornography involving the sexual abuse of animals. Yetman was charged with 20 counts of sexual abuse of an animal by performing sexual acts with an animal and 20 counts of sexual abuse of an animal by filming sexual acts with an animal. State police said. Authorities did not disclose at the time what species of animal was abused or if multiple animals were involved. According to In Defense of Animals, an animal rights organization that has compiled 20,841 signatures on a petition demanding the stiffest punishment for Yetman, the victimized animal was a dog. Prosecutors indicate the abused dog, a Belgian Malinois whom we suspect is a retired police dog, is being moved from the local animal shelter to an animal rescue in Texas, the petition states. That Yetman's dog, named Boss, was confiscated by state troopers following his arrest. It was sent to the Texas rescue to save it from remaining in the animal shelter. The court in February gave permission for the dog to be neutered for his health and safety, and given the alleged activity that has taken place between dog and human, a court document obtained by the news station states. Dole Stanley, a campaign director for the California-based In Defense of Animals, traveled about 5 hours from Mississippi on Thursday to deliver the petition to Bossier Parish District Attorney J. Schuyler Marvin, The Times reported. We will let Bossier County 26th District Attorney Marvin Schuyler know we are watching this case very closely and that we fully expect Yetman to be prosecuted for each of the 40 counts of felony animal abuse, and that no plea deals or mercy should be offered for his atrocious crimes, the petition states. Stanley said in a news release Friday that thousands of her group's supporters were moved by the horrific case, and want to see justice for the dog that was abused. A healthy society protects its innocents, vulnerable children, animals, elderly citizens. Sexual predators must be made to fear the loss of freedom and a stinging financial impact, the statement read. We call on District Attorney Schuyler Marvin to take zero-tolerance stance on bestiality and prosecute Yetman to the fullest if he is found guilty. The crime of sexual abuse of an animal fell under Louisiana's statute regarding crimes against nature until last year, when a bill signed by Governor John Bel Edwards was enacted to clarify and strengthen the state's laws against bestiality. According to the bill, a person who commits sexual abuse of an animal faces up to 5 years in prison and a fine of up to $2,000. Anyone who commits a second or subsequent offense faces up to 10 years in prison and a fine of up to $25,000, according to Louisiana law. Anyone convicted of possession of child pornography faces between 5 and 20 years in prison and a fine of up to $50,000 for the first conviction. For a second or subsequent conviction, a person faces between 10 and 40 years in prison and a fine of up to $75,000.
The guy's a fucking cop. The guy is someone you should feel safe. If you're a child or if you're anybody and you need some help, if you've got something you gotta tell somebody, this should be one of those people. This is supposed to be someone that we can have absolute faith in, that they're gonna do the right thing. How does this happen? You know, if this cop's doing this kind of fucked up shit, then you know politicians and other powerful people and people of influence are doing similar fucked up shit. It makes it so hard to have faith in humanity. I'm always telling myself, I'm always reminding myself, no matter how dark the rabbit hole gets, that there's more good people out there than there are bad people. And that, not everybody in the world is tainted. But boy, does it make it hard to remind yourself of that kind of thing when animals like this are amongst us and in positions of power. There's one more story on. I can't even do it anymore. We're going to skip the next story on it. I'm done with this asshole. I am so done with this asshole. There's his face. If you guys wanted to see him in his little cop outfit here, that's him. And this guy won, I guess, a bunch of awards. Here's a picture of the poor damn dog. As the article reports, they think that it was most likely his service dog, although the police department refused to confirm that. Hopefully this silly son of a bitch, this nasty ass mother... I can't say it on YouTube. will rot in jail. Not only do I hope that he rots in jail, but I hope that somehow they're allowed to watch the news in that, what are they, like the common room off of all the cells where everybody gets together. I hope there's a TV. I hope they're watching the news, and I hope that this story makes it right in front of all your jailmates. And then I hope that the biggest, ugliest, horniest son of a bitch executes a certain type of vengeance on your ass, the likes of which have never been seen before. Now get the absolute fuck off my screen. God knows. This one's not far from us. This guy's only like an hour away. He's right here in the state of Maine. Good God, I hope you're still in jail, buddy. Otherwise, I might end up doing a live interview with you because I want to know what the hell is going through your mind. Here we go. Give me just a second here. Ay, ay, ay.
Hope, Maine. A man from Hope is accused of forcing a dog to sodomize him repeatedly.
What the
Nicholas A. Hill of Hope, Me, has been charged with cruelty to animals, a Class D crime, for intentionally, knowingly or recklessly committing bestiality on an animal, according to Knox County Court documents. Joseph Simmons, an ex-roommate of Hill, contacted police after Simmons' ex-girlfriend told him about the alleged sexual acts on Simmons' dog, a husky named Gotham. Simmons' ex-girlfriend heard about the alleged incident from Hill's ex-girlfriend, Eliza Anthony.
Poor fucking Gotham. Did you guys hear that? I mean, before we continue the rest of the article, if I heard that correctly, and maybe I'll take a listen back just to be very, very sure, I just heard what I thought I just heard, and I read what I earlier thought I had read. He somehow forced the dog to sodomize him. I'm pretty sure that means that he got the dog to do him in the buttski. I'm pretty sure. If I'm wrong on this, if I've got my terminology mixed up here somewhere, folks, I'm sorry. Somebody correct me in the chat. I don't know what's going on here. How do you make a dog do somebody in the butt? Apparently this guy figured it out. You are, oh my God, please be in jail. Please be in jail, and please don't let me find your information so that I can come and interview you.
Simmons spoke to Det. Justin Twitchell and shared a video that the detective says clearly shows a man forcing the dog to sodomize him. This video was allegedly shared with Anthony by Hill, with a request she join in the acts taking place. Anthony was also questioned by police and said
honey,
the
you want to
video
bang
was
this
shared
dog with
her
me?
in February 2019. According to Simmons and Anthony's accounts, these acts happened repeatedly, and could have been going on for months. They both also identify Hill as being the perpetrator in the video by his tattoo and other physical attributes. Det. Twitchell said in court documents, he investigated the home Hill and Simmons once shared, and identified things in the house that appeared on the video. Anthony and Hill share a child together, but according to her, they are separated and no longer communicate. Det. Twitchell estimates the acts in the video took place on or about April
Sheldon,
1st,
hold that
2019.
thought. We might take your call.
Hill was arrested and brought to the Knox County Jail.
Sheldon, hold that thought. We might take your call. If you guys have had any kind of experience with this yourselves, like as far as, I don't think any of you guys are doing our furry friends. Dear God, I hope not. But if you know somebody that this has happened with, if this has happened in your community, if you got anything to add, like I said, keep that on the back of your mind. I'm hoping that we're going to have some time to take some live calls tonight, and maybe we can hear your experiences. But like I said, this guy's only like an hour away. That scares me. You know what's really messed up, and dear God, I'm sorry if there's anybody from West Virginia in the lobby, but when I hear something freaky like this, I don't know why, my brain goes to West Virginia. I don't know. I'm sorry, West Virginians. I'm sure there's a lot of great people in West Virginia, but that's where my brain goes. This guy's sitting up here in Maine, man. I didn't think we rolled like that. Ay, ay, ay. Nothing really shocks me anymore. I mean, I am shocked, but I'm shocked, but at the same time, like, I'm not even that surprised anymore.
Oregon man gets jail for sexually assaulting small dog who was euthanized due to extensive injuries.
So this poor dog was abused to the point that apparently it had to be put down.
A judge sentenced an Oregon man to 60 days in jail for sexually assaulting a small dog whose injuries were so severe that she had to be euthanized, prosecutors announced Monday. In sentencing 52-year-old Fidel Lopez, Judge Angel Lopez told the defendant he would have imposed a tougher penalty if the law allowed it. If it could have been more, I would have gladly given you more, the judge said in court, according to a news release from the Multnomah County District Attorney's Office. The sentence, 60 days in jail and 36 months of probation,
60 days in fucking jail?
possible.
What the
Fidel Lopez pleaded guilty to a count each of aggravated animal abuse in the first degree and sexually assaulting an animal. In entering the plea, Lopez admitted that he unlawfully and intentionally tortured Estrella, a Lhasa Apsomix, and that for the purpose of arousing his sexual desires. He sexually assaulted Estrella, the release stated. Lopez was arrested on February 13 following an investigation that began late last year where the dog's owner took her to an animal hospital amid concerns the pup had been sexually abused. According to officials, veterinarians determined Estrella had been sexually assaulted. The dog had to be euthanized because of extensive internal injuries, prosecutors said. Forensic evidence confirmed Lopez abused the canine, the release stated. According to an affidavit obtained by the Oregonian, Lopez became frustrated after his fiancée, Estrella's owner, didn't come home or answer her phone, and he had sex with the dog. When the woman returned, the dog was crying and hiding under a couch, the newspaper reported. She requested a rape kit because Lopez had expressed a prior interest in bestiality, according to the Oregonian. As part of the sentence, Lopez will not be allowed to have a dog for 15 years, the DA's office said.
Well, there's
a hearty sentence.
You're going to get 60 days in jail, and you can't have a dog for 15 years. What the fuck? What is wrong with our district attorneys? What is wrong with the people writing our laws? What is wrong with the people that are doing this to Fido, to any animal? Turd the turtle, Lindsay the lizard. What in the world? I feel like the only creature safe at this point is probably a porcupine. God. What is going on? Hey, Sprinkle Cakes, I see you, Sprinkle Cake, excuse me, I see you in the chat there. Thanks for joining us again. We really appreciate your support. Oh. I don't know, honey. Maybe next week. I don't know what you think about it, Sophia, but maybe next week we should do like just an entire show about positivity. The bright side of humanity instead of all the darkness, because God, it makes it hard to have faith and look at the general populace in the same way. It's just mind-boggling to me. He fucked the dog so hard. Excuse my language. I'm just going to let it rip at this point. It is what it is. This guy fucked the dog, which is bad enough, but apparently to the point that this poor fur baby had to be put down.
And was hiding.
This guy should be put down. He should be hiding and crying and then euthanized. In the actual hell. Ah. Oh my God. That guy's freaking scary looking.
Oh, this one.
Jiminy crickets. Look at... in the world.
Hi, Betty Barrett.
Betty Barrett in the house. Where's my... Hold on. I have just the right thing for this. Betty Barrett in the house. Thank you for joining us, Betty. I'm sorry that you're doing it on a such a dark occasion. This stuff is just beyond reprise. Here we go.
A Prineville man is facing charges after his roommate reportedly saw him having sex with her dog, Duke, with his bedroom door open. Ricky Earl David Cook, 41, was arrested this month at his roommate's family home, where he rents a room. He was taken to Crook County Jail, where he remains on $15,000 bond. His roommate called police about 10:40 p.m. March 1st to report she'd caught Cook having sex with her dog. As she walked by Cook's room, she saw him on his knees with his pants off behind the dog, according to a search warrant affidavit filed in Crook County Circuit Court. After she responded in surprise, Cook reportedly sighed and said, "What? My pants were up and the dog got on top of me," according to the affidavit. Police arrived in Crook County Sheriff's Deputy Jordan Freisha noted in a court document that the dog, a 6 to 7-year-old male Malamute, was roaming the home and appeared to be nervous. Freisha interviewed Cook, who claimed he'd been sitting on the floor of his room, looking at his phone when Duke had attempted to mount him. Cook said that at the moment the roommate walked by, Cook was trying to push the dog off him, Freisha wrote. His explanation did not make sense. Freisha wrote.
No shit, huh?
Cook said the dog tries to mount people all the time. This seemed like Cook was attempting to blame the dog for trying to hump him and did not sound reasonable. Freisha wrote. Cook reportedly appeared nervous under questioning, chain smoking and rarely making eye contact with deputies. He asked police if it was illegal to have sex with animals. Cook said he was from Washington and wanted to know if it was illegal in Oregon, Freisha wrote. I notified Cook it was illegal to have sex with animals in Oregon.
Thank you very much, Sprinkle Cake. Sprinkle Cake says, I have PTSD, and I owe so much of my happiness to the sweet creatures in my life. Amen, sister. Fur babies are the best for that reason. Animals like children trust us implicitly to give their pure love so freely. Thank you for exposing these demons. Thank you, Sprinkle Cakes. We can't do it without you, darling.
Thank you.
One count of encouraging animal sexual abuse. Animal sexual abuse is a Class C felony, and if convicted, Cook must register as a sex offender for life. Cook had lived with the woman, her husband and daughter for 4 years. The woman told police she'd had no issues with him before the incident.
Good grief. Good grief. And I honestly wonder if anything can legally be done for the young lady that walked into her house, walked by his room, and had to see this. Can you imagine how traumatizing that is? I mean, not only is this happening to her fur baby, but she has to watch it.
Well, not even just that, but this is somebody that she trusted enough to rent a room off of her, too.
I gotta say, I question her judgment on this one. I know it's not nice to judge a book by its cover. I'm sure that there are good people somewhere in the world that look like this guy. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I wouldn't rent a room to that guy. Just giving it to you straight. Maybe I'm a jerk. If I'm a jerk, call me a jerk in the chat. It's okay. I can take it. I got thick skin. But there's no way that guy's getting into my house to use the phone, use the bathroom, let alone rent a space. No freaking way.
No.
Maybe I'm a jerk. I don't know. Yay. $15,000 bond. What's wrong with people? What's wrong with our elected officials? How does that happen? This next one is just... I told you guys. I gave everybody a warning about this. I told y'all exactly what was coming. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you're seeing it. You're seeing it right. This is about a gentleman that had sex with a guinea pig. We're going to come to this story when we come back. We're going to be back in about 3 minutes. If you guys can bear with us, we very much so appreciate it. Sprinkle Cakes, again, thank you so much for your support. It really means a lot. Betty Barrett, you've been so generous throughout the course of this thing. We're forever indebted to you. If anybody else is, feeling charitable and wants to help us keep this thing going, please consider finding one of the links in the description. It doesn't matter if it's $1, $5, $10. It doesn't matter. If there's an option for 50 cents, it doesn't matter. We can't do this stuff without you guys, and it means the world to us. And I'll tell you what, thanks to you guys, we actually have some heat in our little makeshift studio here. We very much so appreciate that up here in Maine. It's cold out here, Bob.
Very cold.
It's cold up here, Bob guy. Got my lawn johns on, but it ain't doing much good. All right, guys, when we come back, we're going to be talking about a gentleman that did unspeakable things. I should say, we're going to speak about a gentleman that did unspeakable things with a guinea pig. Stay with us, folks. We won't be gone for long. Sprinkle Cakes. I don't know how, I always call you Sprinkle Cakes. I'm sorry. Sprinkle Cake. I hope that you'll consider sticking around with us for a little while this evening. We are going to try to open up the phone lines and take some of your calls. And if you are so inclined, I'd certainly like to speak with you. I saw here in the chat that you've been a veterinarian, and I can't help but be curious. Is this something you've ever come across? And even if it wasn't, even if there wasn't a sexual component to it, I'd love to know some of the things that you've seen. And I think that would be helpful for a lot of us. Bear with us. guys. We're going to be back here in just about 60 seconds. Bear with us. Stick with us. Thank you for your patience. We appreciate it. We're back. Oh, how can you not take a little break after that? That's a lot. It's just a lot to try to wrap your mind around. Oh, yay. Sprinkle Cake, I'm not sure if you noticed. I'm sure you probably did that you've got a little blue wrench next to your name. And you've certainly earned that. You always have such great commentary in the chat. You've been more than generous in helping and keeping us going here in our tiny little makeshift studio. Not so tiny. I don't know, one of these days we got to pan the camera around. It's not that tiny, but it's pretty tiny. But we certainly put a lot of work into getting it all to work right, especially I am not all that tech savvy of a guy. I mean, it's the sad, honest truth. I'm really not. So it took a little bit of... well, a lot of YouTube videos to figure out the back end, the bit rates, all that kind of crazy stuff. And we really appreciate you sticking with us. Sheldon, thank you so much. Your $10 donation. Thank you for being such a great people and show us that humanity still exists. You guys are amazing. I'd like to put my $44
I want to support
over my
however
20
I can.
Should check my email while doing live. Okay, I can do that. Give me just a second here, and we will do that. Andre, thank you so much for the $1 donation. Honestly, folks, don't think that we don't value somebody that gives us 99 cents. We value all you guys. We value everybody that's just here with us. I mean, we're still a small channel. In the world of YouTube, we're piss ants. I mean, that's the honest truth. 30,000 subscribers to a lot of folks isn't that big of a deal. To us, it's a very big deal. So thank you very much, Andre. We really appreciate that, sir. What I meant is I had negative 20 mic. Sheldon, man, you didn't have to do that. Thank you. That's certainly more than we could ask for, man. I really appreciate that. If you guys could, I'm sure you guys can probably hear my youngin' in the background. He's supposed to be in bed. I'm going to go check and see what's going on here real quick. I know Mama's already handling it, but Daddy's got to give him a hug goodnight. Bear with me. I'm going to be back in less than a minute. I'm sorry, guys. My kiddos come first every time without exception. I'll be right back. All right. I'm sorry about that, guys. I think Daddy might have accidentally woke him up when he started screaming about the guy that only got 6 months. I got to learn to try to keep my voice down a little bit. I get passionate about this stuff. It's hard not to get worked up. If you guys have watched our live confrontations of child predators, you guys know that I really do try very, very hard, and I have failed. I will not deny that I have failed a few times trying to, keep good insight on my tone, pitch, inflection, on my body language, because when you scream at somebody, you're not going to get a good interview. You're not going to get any honesty. They're going to shut down and they're going to run. I don't like to run. I don't want to chase after these guys, and I don't want to put all the time into it to just scare the pants out of them and not get, an interview. So I really do try to moderate my pitch, tone, inflection, body language, those kinds of things, and try to keep a professional aspect on it. And even here in our little studio, I need to do a better job of that. But I'm pretty sure I'm the one that woke him up with yelling about the guy that got 6 months. I'm sorry about that, buddy. Oh. Hello, my love.
Hello.
Is all well?
Yes, he just wanted some lullabies.
All right. We've had a couple of really generous donations I want to make sure that you know about. Sheldon gave us $10, and that is when that's when he was already negative $20 in his bank account. So I made sure that he knows we love him for it. And also, Andre was more than generous and donating 99 cents for us through the super chat. I really appreciate it, folks.
Wow, thank you.
If you're at home and you're wondering, how do I throw a double cheeseburger in there? It's right in the description. I know that there's more tech-savvy ways to do it. I'm not that tech-savvy. I really, really, really hope we can find somebody that we can trust, that can pass a background check.
Jordan Brown, thank you again.
Yes, thank you, Jordan Brown. It's not much, but I want to support you guys. The hell, $1.99 is not much. I don't know what happened in the world today where people don't think $1.99 counts for anything. It absolutely counts for something. Thank you very much. We really appreciate that. As I was saying, I'm sure there's better ways to put it out there and make it easier for people to support the stream. I don't know how to do it. The best thing that I know to do is to throw a link in the description and to hope that folks find it. So we really appreciate everybody tonight. And I love this little guy that dances around. Can you guys see it? Yes, it's working.
Yay.
Yay. That little widget has made me wrap my mind so hard. Like, shut my head in a door. Why is this thing not working? It's working now.
Wants it when it wants to work, basically.
Well, I guess we can't make it work if it's not wanting to work, but it's working today. Thank you, widget people. So, all right. Are we ready to jump back into this, guys? I know it's heart heavy. That's another reason I appreciate our viewers so much. This shit is not easy to watch. It's not easy to digest. In fact, the easiest thing in the world to do is to pretend that this kind of shit is not happening in our world. That is so much easier. To turn a blind eye. Forget that it's happening. Ignore that it's happening. But folks, we're all adults in this channel. I'm pretty sure we're all adults in this channel, and we know that ignoring a problem only makes it worse. And we're not doing that. We're not going to sit here and watch this kind of bullshit and not, shine a light on it. My wife and I were talking very recently here about composing a mission statement. And it's hard because we've got so many things we want to do with the channel. It's not just going to be crimes against children. It's not, we've done this one story now about crimes against our furry love bugs. And there's so much more we want to do. There's positive stuff we want to do. One thing that my wife and I are both really passionate on, especially right now, as it's starting to get so very, very cold here in Maine,
so cold,
is the homeless population. It's insane. It's insane. It's scary. It's worrisome. I wish that I had a mansion that I could literally just pick them up and come on. It's warm. It's warm here. Just come with us. It's heartbreaking. And that's something we're going to be working on here very soon. But anyhow, we've been working on trying to compose a mission statement. And so far, and maybe you guys can help us do it. Maybe you guys can help us do it. But so far, the only thing that we've got is we want to shine light in dark places. The things that people are turning their head to, the things that people don't want to look at, can't face, can't stand to try to get their brain wrapped around, That's the most important stuff that we can be covering. And that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to work to do. That's our goal. I'm sure there's a better, more poetic way to phrase that. But that's where our heart's at in this thing. We want this world to be a better place. My father always said, if you borrow something, return it in better shape than you found it. And I apply that same kind of thing to life. We want to leave this place better than we found it. But it's not going to happen on its own. It's not going to happen by us going, oh, I don't want to look at that. We got to look at it. We got to face it. We got to face it head on. And that's what we're going to do. All right.
Betty Barrett, it breaks our heart too. That's one of the biggest things we've been talking about lately is doing hats, gloves, basically anything we could possibly do, and trying to help them in any way we can possibly.
Yeah, I mean, it gets cold up here in Maine. I joke about it all the time. I'll use my Mainer accent and, my Mainer vocabulary. I'll forget that there's an ER and I'll say AH instead. It's cold up here.
Bob.
I joke about it all the time, but it's for somebody standing, under a bridge in a box, even if they have a blanket and a coat.
Even if they have like some sort of tent thing that they've made, it's not enough. It really is just not enough. I wonder how are these people survive? I can't. It breaks my bloody heart. Especially when I hear people complain, oh, I don't want to get sidetracked. I could go on forever. I know.
Just remember, folks, when we think that we have something to complain about, chances are, and with great exception, chances are, though, you really don't have shit to complain about. If you think you do, go to your largest municipality around you. Go to the city, drive through the bad neighborhoods, and go home and sit quietly for a second and think about what you just saw. And then ask yourself, really honestly, do I have something to gripe about? I think for a lot of us, the answer is going to be no. All right, folks, let's do this. We're going to get back into this thing. Oh, honey, you sound terrible. I can't believe you're doing this with me tonight. You're such a trooper, love. My wife's not feeling well at all. She's had this awful, painful-sounding cough for days. And, folks, she's still here with us. I even told her most genuinely, honey, you don't want to do it tonight, don't do it tonight. And she's like, I wouldn't miss this for the world. I love her so much. I know you guys do too. Thank you, my love.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, here we go. Here's the story, and I think this one's got a video. I don't know if it's going to try to make us watch an ad. If it is going to try to make us watch an ad, we'll just say the heck with it, I think. Unless it's a very short ad. Here it goes.
We build Motor Trend's back.
We'll pause it. It's only 15 seconds, so let's read a couple of chats here. What do we got going on?
Sprinkle cake.
Cold in Cali last night, too. I know it does get cold up in Northern California. I spent some time in Southern California. It was nice. Here we go.
Of Middletown. Fox 5's Anjali Hemphill is live with more on this story. Anjali?
Well, Marina, animal control officials say cases like this can be very hard to prove, but investigators here in Frederick County believe they have significant evidence to charge Mackey with 2 felonies that, if convicted,
Sprinkle Cake says you sound terrible but look beautiful, and Betty Barrett says I love her.
I was in the middle of typing. Thank you both.
Scott Mackey did not answer us when we went by his home Friday, but court documents say he denied any wrongdoing when he was questioned by animal control officers in this Frederick Target parking lot last month, where a witness says they saw the 33-year-old in a green Volkswagen Jetta physically assaulting a guinea pig.
In a fucking parking lot? Here, I'm sorry.
Okay, wait, back it up 1 second. Just hold on. What? Okay.
I'm gonna try really, really hard not to start yelling again. I don't want to wake him up.
You didn't wake him up.
I didn't?
No, you didn't.
All right, that makes my heart feel a little better. I don't want to wake him up.
No, he woke up to go pee and then just wanted lullabies.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. All right.
Sexually,
I'll pull this back here a little bit so that
month, where a witness says they saw the 33-year-old in a green Volkswagen Jetta physically assaulting a guinea pig.
they described
you small dick motherfucker.
Animal, striking the animal.
I'm sorry, I said it. I said it.
Sexually.
You heard me. I said it.
Molesting the animal. And all those things were very detailed, as I said. They were very graphic. They were disturbing.
Animal Control Sergeant David Luckenbaugh says that eyewitness, who also recorded the incident on their cell phone, was key to their month-long investigation. Back
Thank
on
you for your
December
vigilance.
2nd, Mackey told officers he had just purchased the guinea pig named Mr. Gravy from a nearby PetSmart and was attempting to feed it a carrot
not the
in
week
order
for
to
this.
bond with the animal.
Hold
But
on,
Sergeant
folks.
Luckenbaugh says their evidence shows otherwise.
We spoke with
It's
the
getting hot in
eyewitness
here.
who gave a very detailed and what we believe a very credible
Thanks for the
account
heater,
of what
guys.
occurred.
Thank
Those
you for the
statements
heater,
were
guys.
corroborated by cell phone video.
Oh.
When we left the scene, the guinea pig
Betty
was
Barrett, small
immediately
dick is right.
transferred to an
Thank you,
emergency
Betty. I
room
hate
for
cussing in front of you. I have so much
veterinarian
respect for
examined
you.
the animal. It confirmed that there was trauma to the animal that would be consistent with what was reported.
Meanwhile, the
Us
guinea
too,
pig has
Sprinkle
fully
Cake, us too.
recovered, but investigators say this case must be prosecuted.
Not only should this be a punishment for an individual who commits an act, but it may also serve as a deterrent for people in the future that may do these types of things.
Mackey is due in court on February 26th.
Speechless?
Just wow.
I got to work on getting some more sound effects downloaded. Right now, I feel like the right sound effect would probably be like the crickets just chirping, because I don't really know what to say. You small dick, creepy ass, miserable piece of shit.
You forgot disgusting.
You're right. I got to work on my sound effect game and adding adjectives. Oh, good gosh. The poor witness. I mean, you're just imagine you're coming out of the store, you're carrying your bags, minding your own damn business. You're looking around trying to make sure you don't get hit by a car, and then BAM! Dude fucking a guinea pig.
Betty Barrett says sometimes language is appropriate, like now. We agree at this point in time.
Thank you for your understanding, Betty.
We try not to cuss too much.
I'll tell you all something about Betty Barrett. Betty Barrett's the first one to call me out when I slip out. I mean, she does it with love. She doesn't do it with hate or malice or anything like that. But she's very, very honest. She's very direct, and I love, 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 love that about her. And I think we should be held to a high standard. We're talking about something that's very serious. Yes, I won't lie. Sometimes there's a touch of comedic value in a story, and you know, I'll touch on it when it's there. But we should hold ourselves to a high standard, and you guys should hold us to it as well. Thank you, Betty. We love you for it. Oh, this guy. I hate that it didn't get a good close-up of his face. One of the things that I was thinking about when we put this show together was, I'm sure the people that live in the local communities that this stuff happens in, and it makes the news or the newspaper, I'm sure that, it saturates the local news and people are made aware and they know what's going on. But we should be blowing these people up on a national level. And they shouldn't be able to just move to the next state, or let alone maybe just simply the next county, and think that they're good to go. Nobody's going to know. We're going to try to do our very, very, very best, you 6 SOBs, to make sure everybody knows. Let's go on to the next one. Good. I hate to be judgmental, lady, but you are scary. Oh, my goodness. Oh, googly moogly. The first line's kind of funny. That's wrong, but
Yeah.
so right.
What a mutt. A Brooklyn woman was busted for forcing her roommate's pooch to give her oral sex, police said Friday. Danielle Hui, 20, was charged Thursday after her roommate, Taylor Goldenberg, 24, told cops that she saw the horrific abuse unfold on a motion sensor nanny camera. According to a criminal court complaint, Hui allegedly made the dog named Colton, a Pomeranian Shiba Inu mix, perform oral sex in her roommate's bedroom inside their Smith Street apartment in Carroll Gardens. When confronted with the recording, Hui admitted that her pants were off but said she was wearing underwear and didn't get any pleasure from the act, which she said was a bizarre accident.
Okay. All right. The only thing that's bizarre is your face and your hair, you nasty creature.
Like, what
She also
happened?
said she would never knowingly commit a sexual act with an animal and that she loved Colton, although the two had their differences in the past. A judge ordered Hui released without bail after a brief arraignment in Brooklyn criminal court on Friday. "I'm just happy that I'm safe. The dogs are safe," Goldenberg told the Daily News. "I'm just hoping that this helps other people be aware that you never know who you live with." Goldenberg said she had been having a strange feeling about her roommate. "I had my suspicions," Goldenberg told the news and said she bought the
You're
Nanette cam,
hilarious,
setting it
Sprinkle
up
Cake.
a
Did you
week
read
ago,
that?
Yeah,
but
hell
never
yeah, I read that.
expected what she saw.
Now, I've always had this thought in my mind, and I could be way off here, and it may not be applicable, but I've always had this thought in my mind, like, it's probably, statistically speaking, a little easier for a woman to find a sexual partner than perhaps it is for a guy. I think naturally women are probably more selective than men. But look at that face. Look at that hair. I think I might have been off on this one. And side note, quick question. Why the roommate's bedroom?
Probably because that's where their dog was kept. Maybe.
So you're saying,
where
okay,
I was
he's a
sleeping.
roommate's dog. Okay, all right, it was a roommate's dog.
We've had a couple of cases of that tonight. What's with the weird roommates? What is happening?
I don't know about you, honey. Again, you guys call me a jerk if you want to call me a jerk. Sometimes I'm a jerk, I know it. But that lady came responding to an ad for a roommate situation. She'd have got to the door and I'd have said, "Oh, we already found one. Good to go, thank you.
Have a good day.
Have a good day. Good luck." Ay, ay, ay. Oh, I told you guys that this was going to be plentiful. I thought that I was going to, not be able to find that many situations where this kind of thing's happening. But believe me, the stories were so plentiful that it's terrifying. All right, here we go. Here's the next one.
Oldsmar, FL. Authorities in Florida have arrested a man for performing sex acts on a pet while dressed in costume. The Pinellas County Sheriff's Office says investigators were contacted by someone out of state about pictures and videos of a man having sexual contact with a dog. Deputies say the video shows a man in a black and white husky dog costume using his body and toys to have inappropriate sexual contact with a Siberian husky dog.
I wish that Siberian husky would have bit your dick off.
The dog was clearly in distress, and at one point tried to run away.
Andre, thank you again. We appreciate it, good sir. That is more than generous.
Detectives traced the videos to 21-year-old Christian Nichols. When interviewed, the sheriff's office says he admitted to making the video with his dog, Ember, and posting it on the internet. A subsequent search of Nichols' bedroom revealed numerous videos of an unidentified person having inappropriate activity with dogs.
Yay, it worked again.
It worked.
Nichols has been charged with 1 count of aggravated animal cruelty and 10 counts of prohibition of certain acts in connection with obscene materials. He remained in the Pinellas County Jail as of Tuesday evening, according to the sheriff's office. County Animal Services responded to Nichols' home and removed Ember and another dog.
Thank God. Man, anybody ever touched one of my kids? Or one of my fur babies? One of our kids? One of our fur babies? I'll tell you this. I get whatever Sophia leaves behind. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it.
There's not going to be much left.
I know. Oh, I know. I know, but whatever there is, I'm going to get it. Look at this guy. We should start a website where we just, store all the images, right? And you go to the website, all you see is a face. And then you click the face to see the story. I want to blow these people up. I mean, I don't mean physically in the sense of, strap a bomb to their back. I mean, I want to put their image everywhere. Obviously missing children are more important than this. But could you imagine if we could put this kind of stuff on the back of a milk carton? Let's make sure everybody knows about it. Speaking of making sure everybody knows about it, we have one more favor to ask of you folks. All right? If you guys find what we're doing meaningful, if you think that we're doing it in a way that is genuine and you are behind us, I ask you to share a link on your social media. It doesn't have to be this story. It could be any story. It could just be a link to our channel. Let's help the world see these faces. Let's help spread that information. Ooh, I've got the hiccups coming. Oh, not now. Darn it. Come on. Ah.
Do you want water?
Daggone hiccups. I get them all the time. I don't even know. But if you guys want to do something for us that's not monetary, as much as we do appreciate that, consider sharing a link to this story or maybe one of our other stories or one of our catches to something with our channel and give other folks the opportunity to check us out and see if we earn their followership. That would be a great service to us. Give me just a second. I'm going to try to suck down some of this water so I'm not hiccuping in your all's ears. Alright, get the hell off my screen, you fucking meatball. Look at this. What in the... Oh, Lord. Hey.
We have not checked our email yet. No.
We have not, but we're gonna do it live tonight. Bear with me here just a second.
Oregon man gets nearly 2 years in prison for sexually assaulting a horse.
Sexually assaulting a horse. Can you imagine getting kicked in the nuts by a horse? Now, I'm just saying. Can you imagine getting kicked in the nuts by a horse? And, bro, you had that coming. Mm-hmm. You had all of that coming.
An Oregon man found guilty of sexually abusing a horse last year was sentenced Friday to 20 months in prison. Kenneth L. Dewick pleaded guilty to sexual assault of an animal, unlawful use of a motor vehicle and second-degree burglary in a Washington County courtroom. He was arrested in April when authorities responded to a call about someone with a black mare horse named Ellie inside a Hillsborough barn, S3XUAL Oregon reported.
Sorry, Betty Barrett.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Betty. We love you, but it happened.
On April 19th, the owner of the property discovered the horse tied up in an unusual way that was different from the way she left the animal. Her daughter, who is a veterinarian, said the horse appeared to have been sexually assaulted, according to the station. The property owner later recalled Dewick had called her the day before asking if he could sleep on her property. She said no. Dewick admitted to Washington County deputies that he tied up the horse and planned to groom it, but instead ejaculated on its tail, the Oregonian reported. He said he had not been taking his medication for autism spectrum disorder and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder at the time of the incident and made a bad decision.
Get the hell out of here. Do not dare blame this on autism. I've known plenty of autistic people, and, they do sometimes have some quirks that I don't necessarily understand, but I can't think of one of them doing something that they knew was so very, very wrong. We know these things are wrong. It's ingrained into our DNA. It's instinctual to know that it's wrong. Don't you dare blame that on autism or ADD.
A judge ordered Dewick to register as a sex offender and attend sex offender and mental health treatment. He is also barred from owning horses or domestic animals for 15 years.
Why is it 15 years? I don't get it.
It seems to be consistent here.
You're not going to abuse animals after 15 years. Exactly. 15 years. Each time.
I wish the horse would have kicked the balls right off of that man. I hope his nuts were on, like, the other side of the field. Good God. Leave our fur babies alone, or we're coming for you. All right, now this one, I know. I can't lie. When I read this one, I did giggle a little bit. I mean, there's nothing... I can't say that. I can't say that there's nothing funny about it, because there is a little something funny about it, in my opinion. Maybe I'm just immature. I don't know. But without further ado, here's the story on this guy.
A shopper lifted an Olaf the Snowman soft toy off the shelf of a Target supermarket, then had sex with it, police say. Cody Meader, 20, was arrested and charged with criminal mischief for sexually assaulting large stuffed animal toys inside the store in Pinellas County, Florida on Tuesday. After he was read his rights, Meader admitted to doing stupid stuff and confessed that he had nutted on the Olaf stuffed animal. Police said Meader entered the store and took a large Olaf stuffed animal from a display dedicated to the smash hit 2013 Disney movie, whose sequel is released next month. He then reportedly...
Thank you, can't hide from humor.
It's Olaf, by the way.
I appreciate your name, and very much so the $1 donation.
Afterwards.
Thank you.
He placed the stuffed toy back on the frozen display.
Oh,
Set
no!
It worked again!
It worked again. Did you hear? He put it back on the display.
As well. Authorities wrote in an arrest affidavit obtained by the smoking gun.
I'm going to admit, I didn't read the whole story. I read most of it, but I apparently missed that part. Oh my God. I'm going to be like terrified to touch anything on a Target or Walmart or some store shelf. Like, I'm wearing gloves everywhere from now on.
Meader was detained in the store, with the animals he is accused of soiling removed from its shelves. The suspect's dad, who was not at the store, told police that his son has a history of this type of behavior. There are no previous charges listed on Meader's criminal record related, or unrelated, to the sexual abuse of stuffed animals. He has been charged with misdemeanor criminal mischief and was booked into the Pinellas County Jail. Meader was later released after posting $150 bond.
Is that real life? Is this real life?
I'm just biting my lip. $150 fucking dollars!
You gotta warn me when you're gonna yell in my ear.
I'm sorry. Imagine, what if some little kid, Your Honor, whoever was the one that decided what the bail was going to be. Imagine your child going to the store, seeing Olaf, going, wow, I really like this toy. He picks it up and there's a bunch of nasty man goo all over it. Do you think you might have given him more than $150 bail? Because in my opinion, Your Honor, you're as big of a meatball as he is. That's all I can say on that one. Oh. This one's particularly heinous, folks. Honestly, I mean, everything that we've covered tonight is heinous. And I realized that last one didn't really have anything to do with an animal, but I figured I would throw it in there. This one does have to do with an animal, and everything's been heinous, but this is above and beyond. So I just want to give you guys the heads up on that.
Man accused of sexually assaulting dying beaver, meth possession, Washington police say.
That's right, folks. I read this article. This beaver had been hit by a vehicle, and rather than rendering aid, he rendered his little teeny Slim Jim microscopic Peter into this poor defenseless, already dying animal.
A man was arrested late Monday on an animal cruelties charge after he allegedly sexually assaulted a beaver in a park, local media reported. The incident occurred at Columbia Park in Kennewick, Washington, after a woman saw someone hit a beaver with a car. Radio
Sorry,
station
kind of darkness and light.
KXLY reported. The woman then went home to find a box to bring the injured beaver to a veterinarian, newspaper Tri-City Herald reported. When she returned, the woman found a man next to the animal. She initially wondered whether he was comforting the beaver, Sergeant Aaron Clem said, according to the newspaper. More men accused of sexually abusing dogs, horses, a cow and a goat more than 1,000 times more. Horse molestation case provides puzzle for legal, psychiatric community.
You sick, depraved monster. Again, for all these guys, my one big wish, my one big wish. No matter how much or how little time you get in jail, I hope in whatever common area there is, there's a TV. And I hope that the biggest, ugliest motherfucker in there is stuck on watching the news and you're not going to touch the remote, because if you do, he's going to beat your ass. I hope he's watching the news. I hope he sees this story. Come on. I hope he looks at the TV. And then I hope he looks at you. And then I hope he looks at the TV again. And then he looks back at you. And then I hope that that special moment comes when you're in the shower where he just absolutely gives you what you fucking deserve. You piece of shit. Get off my screen. Alright, we've got one more. And then I think we're going to take another 3-minute break or so. And when we come back after this one... Are you feeling up to taking some calls tonight, honey?
Yeah, hold on just a second.
Yeah.
Jack Hazardous, I think that's right. Jack Hazardous said he was having a super hard time donating through Streamlabs.
Oh, gosh.
But that's not, I don't know anything about that.
We're going to check our email and we're going to take your calls. If Streamlabs isn't working for you, you can try doing it through the Super Chat. And honestly, folks, if it helps any, directing or donating directly through PayPal is also super easy. We're informed about it instantly, and we'll be able to give you proper credit. So there are a couple of different options on different ways that you can help us keep this thing going, help us shine the bright light of humanity in very, very dark places. And with more of your support, the more we share the channel, the more momentum we gain, the brighter that light becomes. And with that, hopefully, we can shine a light so very, very bright that our legislators will introduce legislation that is far, 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 far harder on these filthy animals. All right, here we go. We're going to watch this this last story here. And like I said, then we're going to take a 3 or 4 minute break. And we're going to come back. We're going to check your email, and then we're going to take some of your calls if you guys are interested. Here we go without further ado.
A furry couple were arrested for allegedly abusing a 15-year-old boy who they dressed up as a goat and trained as a pet. Jacob Becker, 26, and Emily Javins, 22, are accused of engaging in sexual acts with the teenager after his dad discovered explicit Facebook Messenger mails from Javins, according to Fox 6.
Let me see here. I can actually switch through some of their pictures too. Okay, I guess that was the last one. Yep, that's him. That's her. I think we're going to leave it on the other one, though, so that we can gain the most exposure on both of them at the same time. We'll leave it on that one. Nope. No, it's not all lit up. I don't know. What has happened here? Come into the light. Alright, maybe I can change it from this side of things. There we go. Alright, let's get on with the rest of this article. Honestly, guys, I can't wait to be done with this part of our segment tonight.
Furries identify with an animal persona, which they use to communicate online and in person by dressing up. The victim revealed that Javans was a furry, telling cops that she identified as a cat while he took on the persona of a goat.
Oh, there's a great
The boy,
freaking couple,
now
a
age
cat and a
16,
goat.
said that Becca would then dominate them both. Javans confirmed that she met the victim during a game of Dungeons and Dragons when he was 15. She said Becca ordered her to sit on boy's lap and kiss him just before his birthday, telling police that they had sex the next day, states the York Daily Record. Becca is also accused of engaging in sex acts with the teenager, and the furries also sent the victim explicit nude photos over the social media platform. Court documents indicate that the furry pair said they would have the minor move in with them when they got an apartment. Becca admitted that they wanted to adopt the boy, like a pet, training him via racy role play. The New York Post reports that this involved the victim being put on a leash and led over to eat some birthday cheesecake. The court documents also revealed that Becca said he sent the boy nude pictures and videos. Javans and Becca were each held on $20,000 bail.
I don't think I've ever been happier that our news segment is over. I mean, I know we've only done 3 previous live shows in this kind of format, but I don't think I've ever been happier that it was just that part of the evening is over. Thank you guys for sticking with us. It's not easy stuff, is it? I mean, we've already talked about this a couple times tonight. It's so much easier to pretend this shit does not happen, turn a blind eye, and just simply ignore it. But folks, we as a civilization have done that for too long, and look where it's led us. It's led us to people trying to normalize this kind of behavior and saying, well, they're sick, and I think 6 months in jail should be just fine. No, it is. It's not fine. It's not fine. You're right, they're sick, but there's a difference. I've said this since the day we started our channel. I'll continue to say this, and I will never, ever, ever waver from it, no matter what anybody says. And I'm always open to a little criticism and devil's advocate and all of those things, but it would be very, very hard to change my mind on this one thing. Sick is sick. Sick is having a unhealthy thought or desire. And I think people can be sick without necessarily being evil. But the second you act on that, the second you go and you victimize somebody or something, the whole sick thing, buddy, that's out the fucking window for me. You're not sick to me anymore, man. You're not sick to me anymore, lady. You are a monster. You are evil at that point. And I think the criminal justice system should treat you as such. Folks, thank you so much again for sticking with us. We're going to take a 3 or 4 minute break. We're going to come back. When we do, we're going to check the email. We're going to take some of your calls. We're going to lead through the chat here a little bit, talk with you guys some more. We love engaging with you guys. Honestly, that's one of the highlights of doing this kind of stuff, is that we get to touch base with you folks. Honey, go ahead.
I just want to put this out there. Everyone with the blue wrench, feel free, if there's people that you don't feel is being appropriate and you're having a hard time with them, or you just think they're just being absolutely obnoxious, feel free to use that wrench.
Okay, essentially with that wrench, you guys are moderators. So with that, you guys have the capacity to do a few things. And I'm not exactly sure how it works.
I just looked at it.
But you guys can put somebody in timeout. So if they're spamming, right, they're not being totally egregious, just kind of annoying, we can handle that by putting them in a 3-minute timeout where they won't be able to engage with us for 3 minutes. If the behavior continues, or it's something that's just blatantly egregious and ignorant, then you just simply click ban, or
remove.
Yeah, remove.
And then you can hide it from channel as well.
Yeah, hide from channel or remove. So if you guys see a little blue wrench next to your name, you've already proven to us that you got our back. And we trust you guys full-heartedly. You guys do what you guys think is right. You guys are just as much a part of this as we are. So thank you very, 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 very much, moderators. There's so many trolls on YouTube. It's hard to take a serious angle on anything without some dumbass jumping in and being like, like, watch you. So we count on you guys. You guys do a great job for us. So thank you very, very, very much. All right, guys, we're going to get this 3 or 4 minute break out of the way. We already talked about what we're doing when we come back. If you haven't done so and you're considering doing so and you see value in what we're doing and we think we're doing it genuinely and you think we're doing it the right ways, please continue or consider to hit one of the links in the description and help us keep this thing supported, because we've put into this for cash what we can put into this for cash, which is fine. We're very happy to do so. We have had some help along the way, but if we're going to keep it going, that's where we got to have you guys involved. So,
thank you, Sprinkle Cake. That was my next move.
Yes,
right there.
yes. Thank you, everybody, and especially Sprinkle Cake. Yes, thank you for removing the dumbass.
Yep.
All right. We love you guys. We'll be right back. Thank you guys so much for your patience. Maybe 2 or 3 more minutes. We are coming right back, and things are coming to a positive side. Okay, we've gotten the dirty, bad, ugly, nasty, heart-wrenching, feel like you just got punched in the gut stuff out of the way. Lord knows that there might be some more to come. We want to hear from you guys. We really do. That's super important to us. That interaction, hearing your stories, being a sounding board for things that you might not want to tell somebody that you know in your everyday life. We're willing to hear them. We're willing to give them our best, response. And I know a lot of times being able to vent, get something off your chest, can be good therapy. So you guys consider it, and we're going to take your calls tonight. If you guys have ever seen something like this happen in your neck of the woods, know somebody that happened to, have any kind of real life experience that even remotely touches on the subject tonight, or you want to share a personal story of something that's happened to you or a loved one that doesn't have to do with our precious fur babies, we want your input. We want to hear from you tonight. We'll be back in about 2 minutes now. 2 minutes. moderators. Also, just want to say thank you guys for keeping the live chat going in our absence. I've noticed that several of our moderators are answering questions and really keeping the dialogue going for us. That's super, super, super important, and we certainly appreciate it. Missed you very much, but we're back now, so it's okay. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. $4 Jack Hazardous, I'm not sure. We'll have to check the email here and see what's going on. All right, guys, thank you so much for bearing with us. One thing I just want to touch on real quick before we get back into it. One of my older children wanted to make a bag of popcorn and said that they didn't want to do it because they'd be afraid that our mics might pick something like that up. And we want you to know that we are a large family. There are 7 of us. We have 5 children altogether, ranging between ages of 2-year-old twins all the way up to almost 15 years old. And on the weekends, when their grades are where they're supposed to be, the older kids get to stay up and do their thing. And if they want to make popcorn, they're going to make popcorn, and you guys might hear it. So don't be shocked. Don't be surprised. And it is what it is, and they're going to do their thing. I would never, ever, ever tell him he couldn't make his popcorn because you guys might hear him. You guys are with us. You guys are part of the family, so to speak. So you're going to hear some family stuff go on time to time. Like our 5-year-old waking up and coming downstairs and going, hey, guys. So we appreciate you bearing with us. Okay. Where are we going from here? Let's check the email real quick. Honey, do you want to go through the chat, see if there's anything important? Yes. Maybe read out anything out loud that you find particularly important, and I will check the email. I don't want to do that on the live screen.
Looks like Betty answered a lot of questions for us.
She sure did.
So far tonight, we went over a sickening amount of easily found animal cruelty and animal abuse videos and articles on these people being caught. Now we are looking at our email, and then we're going to take some live calls.
Oh, wow. All right, I think these are out of consecutive. Order. All right, I'm not prepared to share these with you guys yet. I need to go through this a bit more carefully and also try to get it in chronological order, but one of our viewers, he mentioned the email, so everybody already knows who was talking about the email. Sheldon has sent us some screenshots of a conversation that was going on through, it would appear to be Facebook Messenger, having to do with animal abuse. So Sheldon, I'm not gonna go too far into this tonight, but on our next live show, which is scheduled for Wednesday, I will try to have this in chronological order and go through everything and put it in a context that is a little easier for people to understand what in the world's going on. But thank you for sending this to us, and if we talk to you on the back end of things, I may be able to look this person up, and possibly we can do some kind of phone confrontation. Thank you very much for sending this our way. And I'm going to check one other email while I'm at it.
No worries, but if you have...
Betty Barrett. Betty. You know that my wife and I love you deeply. I'm not going to put your business out there, but you have already done so much, so much to help us make that light that we're shining in dark places a little bit brighter. You do not need to... I'm speechless, Betty. Thank you very much for your $10 donation. Just know that you've done more than anybody else. Honestly, more than any one of our other viewers. You have supported us. You have gently and with love criticized us when it was well deserved and you were right. You don't have to do that. We love you so much. Thank you very much for that. And also, Jackson Withrow, thank you very much for your $4 donation through PayPal. Thank you very, very much for that. We certainly appreciate it. I'm going to click on these and see if there's...
Jack Hazardous. That was the person that was having a hard time donating. Thank you very much.
Oh, God, so I just accidentally... Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that, and thank you for being here for us as well, Jackson. We certainly appreciate that more than you guys know. All right, are we ready to take some live calls? I mean, do we have people that actually are interested in participating in that? And it's... Some people are just not into it, and I totally understand. Not everybody wants to be live on the air and all that kind of thing. If you think you might be interested in doing a call with us, go ahead and throw the number 1 in the chat box. And if we see that, then we're going to go ahead and open up the phone lines and start to have some direct interaction with you guys, which we love to do, honestly. Favorite part of the job. Interacting with you guys. Go ahead, honey. I'm sorry.
I have 2 things.
Yep.
Sheldon said, no worries, but if you need more information, I can try, but sadly it is hard to even contact her. Facebook, it is still up, but very hard to find, but I can find you a link. And then,
Sheldon, I don't want to freak anybody out here. We're really, really, really good at, finding people that think that they're doing things behind the screen, thinking that there's some kind of anonymity there. Let me tell you, buddy, sometimes there is. I won't lie. Sometimes there is, but oftentimes, more times than not. Oh, no. We're going to figure out who we are. And we're gonna bust you. So thank you very much for sending us that email, and we'll do our best.
And there's one more thing. Andre Cola, I'm sorry if I said this wrong, has said about, I would say 5 times since we started, that he wants to be a part of our team somehow.
Andre, can you tell us in the chat? Don't tell us where you're at. Nobody in the chat. I don't ever want anybody in the chat, other than maybe saying what state you're in, to ever give too much information, because there's a lot of weirdos in the world. But Andre, are you from Maine? Can you tell us if you're in our state? Because right now we're going to focus things on a local basis. And by local, I mean anywhere in Maine, possibly New Hampshire we would consider. Massachusetts wouldn't be out of the question. But, we're kind of keeping things in that region, because that's what our budget can afford to really be able to shine a light on properly. So Andre, if you are from Maine and you are interested in joining the team, we would certainly love that. What I would need you to do, the very, very first step, would be to send a picture of your driver's license to our email. I'm going to do a background report, make sure that there's nothing there that freaks us out. And if there's not, then we're going to be in contact with you with our direct contact information, and we will start figuring that out as to how we can work together. Sprinkle Cake says...
Oh, I'm literally replying right now.
You're so fast, honey. You should see how fast my wife can type. She's done.
I don't know if anyone's noticed already, but I am I'm Abracadookie.
She's Abracadookie. It's another channel that we're working on to do some other things. I don't want to plug it too much from this channel, because it's a different kind of thing. The Abracadookie thing is going to be about taking online bullies. Now, not sexual predators. Mind you, there's a huge difference between a troll and a sexual predator. I don't like trolls, but I hate sexual predators. So we're working on another little side thing where, again, people that think they're trolling with some sense of security because they think that they're anonymous and nobody's ever going to figure out who they are. Well, surprise. Peekaboo.
Andre Colas said, look me up on Facebook as well.
Okay. We can do that.
Get out of my brain.
Get out of my brain.
Get out of my brain.
No,
first.
hey. Mm-mm.
I said it first.
Mm-mm.
We do this like a couple of times a day. Get out of my brain.
All right. Anybody interested in doing the live calls? We'll leave this up here for a few minutes. See what happens with it. The number to call, 1-978-255-3045. Again, 1-978-255-3045. If you're interested in, sharing a story. Maybe it has to do with what we're talking about tonight with animals. Maybe it has to do with, child predators. Maybe it has to do with adult predators. If you just want to call and say hi, do it. Now's the time. 1-978-255-3045. And if you're not comfortable doing it, if it's not something you want to do, it's okay. We understand. It's not for everybody, and that's fine. But we're going to open up the phone lines here for a few minutes and make sure that people that do want to do that have the opportunity to do so.
Betty posted the big guy for us under Abra.
Oh, listen, guys. I know somebody's going to watch that video and be like, you're a jerk. I never said I wasn't a jerk. At least I aim those skills at people that are bigger jerks than I am. If you guys aren't familiar with, I guess the cat's out of the bag now. If you guys aren't familiar with a gentleman, he goes by the Angry Bagel Guy. Initially, when he went viral, he was going by Angry Bagel Boss. It's a shorter man, 4'11" to be exact. He's in his mid-40s, and he goes into this bagel shop, and he has this absolute meltdown. A sensational meltdown, enough to go viral. And it happens because one of the cashiers, allegedly, and I've watched the video 100 times, I don't see this lady smirk, but apparently she smirked at him, and he took that as her laughing at Chris Morgan's size, and he freaks out. Oh, we got a call. Hold on here. Andre's with us.
Press 1. To send a voicemail, press...
Andre, you're live. Thank you so much for taking the time to give us a shout tonight.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
It's going outstanding, man. How was your turkey day?
I was wonderful. Spent it with my beautiful dog, myself.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes our fur babies are better family than our blood, and that's
you know it.
That is honest to God truth, and so many times that holds true. Well, I'm happy it was a good one for you. I'm happy that you've joined us tonight. And what do you want to chat about?
Well, the reason why I'm so anxious to join you guys and help out is because I know a lot of people that are very good friends of mine that were affected by child predators and once seduced by them and the whole 9 yards, and it really irks me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a man of God. We're all in this together. Being humanity.
Mm-hmm. You're right about that.
It just really makes my heart feel good. I've been following you guys for a long time, and I just so happened to get an alert today, and I wanted to follow up on that 11 p.m. Live stream, and it's my first chance of reaching out. Creek catches, there's no response, and you guys, you're a lovable family, and you have a beautiful wife.
Thank you.
And I'm very, very thankful, for you guys and what you do. And I just want to help out, man. That's all.
Well, we first of all, we appreciate you and everybody else too. Let me tell you something. We are literally, I know this phrase gets thrown around so much, but it's really true, especially in this instance where we say we can't do this without you guys. Guess what? We might be the sounding board. We might be the one that does the computer work and the editing and all of that kind of stuff. But when we talk about shining light in dark places, you guys, the viewers, are literally the light. There's no exposure. You can't expose somebody without having somebody to expose them to. You can't talk about this stuff unless you have somebody to talk about it with. And that's you guys. That's you guys. So when we say we can't do this without you, I'm not just speaking in a monetary sense. I'm saying you guys are the light. The folks that are able to, and I'm sure there's a lot of folks that would love to, that just simply can't. But for those that can and do donate, you make the light a little bit brighter. Okay? You guys give us the tools and the resources to focus that light a little bit better. But you guys are the actual light. Andre, I got to ask you a question. You're talking about wanting to join us and help out. Are you from Maine?
Both Maine and Mass.
Okay.
Close.
Yeah, that's close enough. Would you be comfortable with sending me a picture of your license to our email? You guys can tell we're not the kind of people that are going to do anything that hurts anybody ever.
Oh, sure.
But we have to for our own safety. Before we meet up with somebody.
I understand that there's a vetting process. That's totally understandable.
We have to, guys. We have to. It's an uncomfortable thing to even ask somebody to do. I imagine how uncomfortable it is to be asked to do it. But we cannot meet up with you. We cannot sit down with you unless we know, with a high degree of certainty who you are. So
understood.
If you can do that, that'll be the first step. And if you wouldn't mind, just leave a contact phone number in there. If you don't want to give us your direct phone number, you can get a Google number or however you want to go about it. Give us a way to get in touch with you, and we'll go from there. And I mean that. We would love to have all the support we can have in our little slice of New England here.
Now, what is your Facebook name? Is it Friends of Humanity?
It is Friends of Humanity, and you can also contact us through our email, which is friendsofhumanityusa@gmail.com. Sprinkle cake.
Again for the kitten.
Sprinkle cake.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have to show them the kitten before we get off.
It was so sad,
All right,
guys.
guys. Well, I don't want to.
I didn't get into it.
If anyone else is trying to call in.
No one else has
express
tried
my,
yet.
No, you're good.
Oh, they haven't. All right.
No, you're not.
Let's let the tape roll, baby.
Hey, let's let it roll. That's one of the things I love about our moderators doing such a good job of kicking the trolls right the hell out of here right from the get-go. Is when we do have the chance to interact with you guys, we're not getting swamped with a bunch of dummies. We're having meaningful conversations and interactions, and that, folks, is what this is all about. Sprinkle cakes, you're crazy. We love you. Thank you very, 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 very much. Sir, thank you very much. It means a lot when somebody takes the time to watch one of our videos, let alone to comment and interact with us. It means a lot.
Yeah, and also just to get a little personal, my girlfriend and I laughed when you guys sat there and saying the same thing. We do the same thing all the time, several times a day when we're together, and it made us chuckle when we're sitting there watching the live stream.
Oh, about being in each other's minds?
We do that all the time.
It's true. It's true. When people have that kind of chemistry and they spend time talking, they know each other's mannerisms and that kind of thing, and it's a very natural thing for people that are close to do. I'm happy that you're able to share that with her. That's a good sign. It means you guys are communicating well and you're on the same page. That's step one, right?
Yeah, got to start somewhere.
That's it. Hey, thank you so much for the call tonight. I look forward to your email. When I get it, I will be in touch back with you no later than Monday. Does that sound okay?
Outstanding. I just want to say one thing before we cancel this transmission.
No, do it.
I want to say good night and God bless to you and your family and everybody else watching. And this is America, and we need to take it back. That includes eliminating all the scum of the earth, especially on our land.
You're freaking right about that, sir.
And thank you guys for doing what you do and having the gall. I would say balls, but the missus doesn't have any, so the gall to do such. And I also want to do a shout out for my baby girl Bertha, beautiful 2-year-old Belgian Shepherd. It's my baby.
Bertha. That's a beautiful name.
It is.
My girl Tay, I love you, baby. Mwah.
Aww.
My peace.
That makes my heart happy. Thank you so much. We'll be in touch real soon.
God bless, guys. God bless America.
You too.
You too. Bye-bye. That right there is a perfect example of why we do this.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, when we talk about shining light in dark places, you guys are literally the light. We got a little more time. 1-978-255-3045. If you guys want to chat with us live, you guys can talk about something that we've touched on tonight with animal cruelty. You guys can talk about our videos. If you guys have questions about some of our videos, you guys can share personal stories, anonymously about things that have happened in your life. I know it's very hard sometimes to talk to folks, that you see every day. And it can be a lot easier to do that when you're talking to somebody that you're not going to see in real life. We've got another call. Hold on.
Call from Mama D.
Mama D.
To accept, press 1. To send a voice.
Good evening, Mama D. You're live.
Hey.
Hey, what are you doing?
Well, I'm just hanging out watching you, and I was thinking of a story that I wanted to tell you and your wife.
Okay.
If you want to hear it.
No, we
want to hear it.
We want to hear it.
Okay, here's the deal. I went to school in the 60s and 70s, okay?
All right.
And so to make a long story short, in my high school years, in my freshman and sophomore year, I went to a place in Appalachian Mountains, and it was a private school, right?
Okay.
And, like, there would be only, like, 10, 15 kids per class. Not very many kids at all.
That's a blessing.
So it was really one-on-one. So the school in and of itself was spectacular. We got to stay in dormitories. We learned about different cultures. We got to meet all different people from all around the world and live with them. And it was an artsy kind of school. And you learned a lot about the old-fashioned weaving and looms and all kinds of artsy stuff. Well, there was this teacher that was there, and he was a really good-looking guy, too. And he would be really super nice to everybody, and his forte was photography. And he loved to teach all about photography. And he would take us everywhere to show us how to shoot pictures. Well, he actually rented off of my dad, and in another town, rented a house. So one day my dad had to go up there and do some maintenance up in the apartment, and he wasn't home, and he gave permission. And he didn't clean up his table, and my dad just walked by the table, and he sees nude pictures of all of these girls that I lived with in the dormitory.
Oh, God.
Sitting on the table.
Oh, no.
Oh, gosh.
So here's what happened. He takes a couple of the pictures, and he mails it to the director of the school. And it's a Christian academy. And he mails it to the director. And to make a long, long story short there, about a week later, the guy was fired. But in the meantime, everybody got called into this director's office. And they had a big old court hearing. It was just a hot mess. It was a hot mess. And I don't know, I wasn't a victim of it. Thank God I wasn't a victim, because I was too much of a nerd, and I was into pottery. So I wasn't too much into photography at all. But I knew some girls, and I tell you what, it affected some of them to the point where one of them even committed suicide. One of the girls.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that...
So, I mean...
Ugh.
This is one of those scenarios where in life you have choices, and if you choose to act upon the wrong choices, you don't know how you're really actually going to affect the human being, even in years to come.
You're so right.
And this is where the selfishness of these humans, if we can call them that. But the selfishness of them and their urges, they need to have a better system of where they put them somewhere where they're not going to hurt. Because I actually have a family member that changed the trajectory of my thinking on how I raised my own kids, you know. So, and he actually sat at my kitchen table and said, "Don't never leave me alone with your poise, Diane." You know, kind of thing. So, but anyway, it gets into a mess. It does get into a mess. But I just wanted to say that you guys are doing good and making it very aware. And thank you very much for everything you do.
Well, thank you for giving us the the time, not just in, watching tonight, but hopping on the phone
Yeah.
and sharing your story with us.
Yeah, well, just keep it up and just keep going forward and not backwards, and you're doing good.
We can
Thank
do it
you
with
very
you
much.
guys. We can do it with you guys. I know we can.
We'll see you later then.
Hey, thank you so much. Hey, can I ask you one quick
Bye.
question before you disconnect?
What's that?
Okay, you're still with us. I wanted to ask you one more question. You said the man lost his job. Did he end up getting...
That's all we know. That's all we know.
Okay.
As students, see, we're talking students. We're not talking adults.
Do you how long ago, how many
they
years
never-
ago would you say this was?
Oh, geez, I'm 57. It was in the 60s and 70s, years ago.
Okay, well, if
But anyways, I do have to go. You probably have some callers and such as that, but yeah, I'm just glad that you're doing what you're doing and just go forwards and not backwards.
Thank you, Mama D.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll see you later.
I hope we talk again soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Wow. Young lady actually took her life over it. Oh, you know how we were talking earlier about being kicked in the gut?
Yep. That feeling's back.
That's that feeling. That's that feeling. And guys, don't hesitate to share those stories. Those stories are powerful. They're important. And folks need to hear them. We need to share our stories because that's what shines that light. But yeah, that was one of those kick you in the gut type stories. Mama Day, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And she touched on something that's wildly important. And that is some of the things that these predators do impact people for the rest of their lives. I always look at it as like this this cycle, right? So something nasty happens to this child, just for throwing a number out there. Let's say that something happens to a 13-year-old child and they've been victimized. And, maybe at 13 they don't really entirely get what has just happened, but, at 16 they do. And that pain starts to open up. And one of the first things that I've seen is when that happens, a lot of times they tend to push the people closest to them away.
Very secluding.
Then you'll notice that a lot of times they'll drop out of school. Then a lot of times you'll see that they'll get into drugs, trying to, bury that pain. They get into the drugs. They're reckless with the money because, now they have a drug problem. And the next thing you know, they're homeless. Now they're homeless, they're hungry, and they're cold. They don't have any real, means of income. And they end up turning to prostitution. The cycle of, and this isn't all cases, there's a lot of times that hasn't happened, but I'm saying there's a lot of times that it has. There's a cycle there. And that the awareness of that cycle, I think, is wildly important. Honey, anything you want to add on that?
No, more so, I think the only thing that we need to continue touching on, it's not just females. It's not just girls.
No.
It's boys as well.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Without question, it's children in general. If I say her sometimes a little too much, please don't take that personally, folks. It's because most of our decoy operations have been, staged as a 13-year-old girl. But that is not to say that this does not happen to little boys. And honestly, I think when we return back to doing live catches, we may set up a profile as a little boy. And I know a lot of you folks, we get questions constantly, comments in our videos. When are you guys going back to doing it? When are you guys going back to doing it? We have taken a break for right now, and I'll tell you exactly why that is. Safety. We have 5 beautiful, beautiful, beautiful children. And as much as our knee-jerk reaction is to jump in head first, cameras blazing. We have to have respect for the fact that, we can do as much homework on somebody as we want. Not everybody always has a violent criminal history that we can look at and go, okay, this might be a really, really unsafe situation. They may have no criminal background at all and still be armed and still be crazy. So we are saving our candy money, and one of the things that we're going to be putting your donations towards are stab-proof and bulletproof vests, but we need 3 of them. One for me, one for Sophia, and one for Donnie, who helps us, keep an eye on the surrounding area. He also acts to as a second, actually a third camera person. So we have things, from every kind of different angle. And all 3 of us really, really need to keep safety in the forefront of our minds, because if something happens, first and foremost, our children are, the first ones to feel that immediate effect. Secondly, if something happens, we're not here to shine light anymore. You can't do that from 6 feet under. So we've got to do things in a safe way. I think we've done a pretty good job of being organized, really watching body language and being as safe as we can be. But the next step is stab-proof and bulletproof vests. So that's the most immediate part, other than keeping heat and taking care of the extra power bill, the gas, the apps, that kind of thing. It does cost a lot of money, but not a lot. It does cost money, though. And the very next thing that money's going towards is taking care of those vests. And they're not crazy expensive. They're not $1,000 a piece. The ones that we're looking at right now, I think, were $270 a piece. So that's not unreasonable. It's not unobtainable or anything like that. But we're getting our ducks in a row so that we can do this in a safe, organized fashion and continue to still get good interviews. Honey?
Jack Hazardous said, I started sharing nudes online when I was 13. I've been a victim of people you go after. So glad I'm able to support you guys and hope to donate more in the future.
Jack Hazardous, man, we appreciate the heck out of it, good sir. We really do. We really, really do. And I'm sorry to hear that happened. If you're ever so inclined and you want to share that experience with us, you certainly don't have to use your full name or anything like that, or give anything, distinguishing. Well, you could even call us and tell us that it's Timmy Tom Tom, and we wouldn't know the difference, and we would leave it at that. If you ever want to call and share your story, you're more than welcome to do so. If anybody else wants to get through tonight, the number 1-978-255-3045. Again, 1-978-255-3045. If nobody else calls in here in the next few minutes, I think we'll probably start to wrap this thing up. In the meantime, I'm trying to think of what else I wanted to get to this evening that maybe I haven't. Knucklehead of the Week. So if you guys tuned in last Friday, you guys saw that we started a new segment called Knucklehead of the Week. And as you can imagine, that's not a title that anybody would particularly want. But I kind of hinted around as to what this week's Knucklehead of the Week was going to be. And the deeper I dove, the more I have found, and I want to put together a very complete story. Complete as I can possibly make it. So I'm going to hold off on that this week until I get all the information together, until I get all the ducks in a row. And then our 40-something-year-old faux hawk having wannabe creep catcher that apparently employs what I would refer to as online hookers. We're going to shine that light on you, brother. We're going to shine that light on you.
As we get a comment
and
about predator
I'm not
poachers.
excited. I'm not excited to do it, man. but I'm going to do it. How dare you call yourself a creep catcher? I know you're watching right now, too, you silly son of a bitch. You little 40-year-old mohawk-having wannabe creep catcher. You are a creep.
Call from. Okay, I've sent the caller to voicemail. Goodbye.
It just automatically disconnected?
It just automatically I didn't even get to push a button. Caller, if you're so inclined, you want to give us a shout back, give us a shout back. 1-978-255-3045. That was what was up with the Knucklehead of the Week. Why we didn't present him this week. And you know who you are. I know you like to stalk our videos, and I know you like to talk a lot of shit, thinking that nobody's ever going to put all the pieces together. Guess what? We did.
Well, that, and he continuously says that we're doing things that we're not doing.
Oh, yeah. Every time he gets a call that is like,
it's us.
Tells him that he's being a knucklehead, he's like, that must be Friends of Humanity. Oh, here's the call again. Let's try this again.
Call from. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
We're sending you back to voicemail. You have to use your regular voice, and you'll need to give us a first name. It doesn't have to be
a real name.
A real name, but you're gonna need to
at least
say something because we don't like to play with trolls. And honestly, we're the wrong people to troll.
It says it's ringing, but nothing. Sheldon, that was me.
Sheldon, okay, all right, buddy, I'm sorry. Call back again. We'll take that one right away. I apologize. Sheldon, come on in, brother. The door is wide open. I'm sorry you've had to try 3 times, but when somebody doesn't say anything, my mind instantly goes, troll. So, I'm sorry I got it wrong on that one. Give it a shot one more time, and we're more than happy to take a call from you.
If you missed a couple of live shows ago, we were trolled very hard, which is why we're a little extra cautious now.
Call from.
Sheldon.
All right, Sheldon, are you with us?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Sheldon, how's it going, man?
I'm just chilling. I just want to say, well, basically, thank you for, like, I see that, how do I say, the energy you guys spread, like, it's so powerful. And I'm sorry I'm talking fast. It's because of my, I'm from Canada, so that shit costs a lot. So.
Oh, wow. Wow, dude, thank you. It does cost a lot. Every time I call our creep catcher friend in Canada, I get the bill, so I understand. Is there a story you'd like to share with us this evening?
I would, but it's going to cost a lot, but I had to personally thank y'all for...
Well, thank you.
All right.
Everything, you guys are amazing people, and keep doing what you do, honestly.
Thank you, Sheldon. We won't keep you any longer. I know, I personally know how expensive that stuff gets. So we'll end the call now here before it gets to the 2-minute or 1 minute 30 section part. But thank you so much for your call, Sheldon. It means a lot, and for your continued support. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You too.
Keep watching.
You too, sir. Thank you. Bye-bye. Yeah, no, calls to Canada. Who would think calling Canada would be so crazy expensive? We're pretty tight with 21st Century Guy, who's another fellow creep catcher. He's taken a bit of a break in a different direction, but he's in Canada, and when we do chat, I get that bill, and I go, no! I totally get it, brother. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it at all. All right, I think that's gonna...
I have a secret segment, remember?
You have a secret? I love when my wife has secrets. I always know, though. I always know when she has a surprise or something, because she gets this little glow about her. This magical glow. And I know that her energy is like harvesting inside of herself, and I can just always tell.
Call from
Nick.
To accept.
Good evening, Nick. You're on live tonight. How are you? Oh, I guess Nick...
Sit for just a second right there, squeakers.
Nick might have changed his mind. Nick, if you decide you want to give it another shout, feel free.
Say hi,
1-978-255-3045. Squeaker!
We call him Squeaker. You're going to figure out why in just a second.
He's got the cutest little squeak. It's crazy. Hi, buddy.
He's probably going to go want to get in my hair.
Yeah.
He likes to sleep in my hair. It's a thing.
It is. Should we give a little backstory? I don't want to get too caught up on it because it's a tearjerker.
It is kitten time, sprinkle cake.
It hurts to talk about a little bit. So the last week has been a little painful for us in our personal lives here with our family.
It's kitty time.
Our very loved cat Karma ended up having a litter of kittens, and by litter I mean 2. Well, there was 3, but 1 was stillborn. So she had 2 beautiful kittens, and Karma's always, gone outside for a few minutes, but she hangs right in the yard, and within 10 minutes she's like, okay, screw this, I want to go back inside my comfy house. Well, Karma didn't come home, and tonight is night number 6, and it's
very cold out.
It's cold out, and it's weighing on us real hard. And despite us, feeding the other kitten with little medicine syringes orally, yesterday the other kitten passed away, and it was
very sad.
Very sad. Very, very hard day.
Everyone loves you already. Look, see?
Squeakers is doing great, though. Squeakers is really...
He's a big fluffy butt.
really doing great. And he's so sweet. Oh, my God, is he sweet.
He's just shy 4 weeks.
Yep. Wow, I hope someday we can have, like, a soundproof studio. Apparently somebody's deciding to fly their plane, like, 15 centimeters above our house. Oh, my goodness, that is really loud. They're low as all get out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's helicopter. That's probably a life flight.
Yeah.
We are, we're right in line where the life flights fly through to the hospital.
Both of them, the major ones.
Both of the major ones, without exposing too much about where we're at. So that's probably one that's just leaving the hospital, which explains why it's so low. But yeah, that's been something that's been going on this week for us, and it has been heavy on the heart, for sure. Very heavy on the heart. And then trying to explain that to... trying to syringe feed him every 2 hours is daunting, but well worth it. He's so incredibly loving, and he's a blessing to add to the family, for sure. And he just loves to climb up in Sophia's hair. It's crazy.
Obsessed with my hair.
Obsessed. Squeaker, what are you doing, buddy?
And he squeaks.
He does.
He's a squeaker.
And he's not Squeaker, though. I thought
Squeaka.
we see Squeaka. So up here in Maine, one of the parts of, like, the Maine dialect is we don't do the whole ER thing. We essentially replace ER with AH.
Wait.
So we're not a Mainer. We're a Maina.
That's not my hair. That's the wire.
And it's cold outside, Bob. I got to check my radiator. Get the radiator all fixed up, taken care of. Caliper. Anything that's ER, you just replace with AH, and now you have a Maine accent. So his name is Squeaka. I think everybody loves you, Squeaker.
I think so, too.
We'll make
sure. So cute, though. Look at his tail, too. It's the cutest little tail. I like it because it's like a paintbrush tip. It reminds me of, like, you're painting. It's just a very perfect little white spot at the bottom.
And I see that Autumn. We've done that, and it's to no avail.
No, it was really cold the first night she was gone as well, as it's been cold already. But
and we've had her for years, and a couple of years, and she's always loved to go outside, even if it's just for 10 minutes.
Hey.
Even if it's in the dead of winter, she likes to go outside. She sniffs around, gets a little fresh air, and she's right back to the door. And it breaks my heart. I try not to let my mind go in too many different directions at once, or it'll absolutely kill me. But she didn't come home this time. All right, guys. We'll stick with you for a few more moments in case anybody else wants to reach out. It's 1-978-255-3045. other than that, I think that we're going to wrap it up. I hope everybody had a outstanding, belly-filled Turkey Day. I hope for even, for those that maybe didn't do a ton for Turkey Day, I hope that there's at least something in your life that you look at and you go, man, I'm so happy for that, and I'm grateful. And Turkey Day is my favorite holiday. It really, really, really honestly is. And it's not that I don't like Christmas or any of the other holidays, but there's so much financial stuff built around those holidays that just doesn't resonate with me. And
Mr. Smith, Karma actually had 7 kittens as well once. So many kittens.
So that's why Turkey Day means so much to me. It's not a financial thing. It's get together with the people that you love and make sure that everybody, knows that you're grateful for them and for them being in your life. So I hope everybody had a good Turkey Day.
Not a while.
We love you guys very much. Thank you guys for the support. It's incredibly awing to have reached just about 30,000 subscribers, which again, in the world of YouTube, isn't that much, but I didn't ever think we would see that. And for you folks that have been able to and willing to contribute financially, whether it's $1 or $100, it's going directly into the project, directly in. So we appreciate the heck out of that. We love you guys. Thank you so much. We're going to be on again. Just a couple more things here. Our goal is to do this every Wednesday and Friday night. Now, Fridays might be a bit of a hit or miss. If we don't do it on Friday, though, you should be able to count on seeing us on Saturdays, okay? But the main goal is to do it on Wednesdays and Fridays. Oh, we got another call. We'll take it.
Call from
Jimmy.
To accept, press.
Hello, sir. You're live.
Hey, I have some questions and concerns about this whole operation, what you do with the predators.
Okay, sure. As long as you can do it in a respectful way, I'm more than happy.
Sure, sounds good. Okay, so my first concern is why do you always target the LGBT, BBQ, HIV predators?
I think you have us confused with a different channel.
No,
We've never done that. I don't even want to say. I think I know the channel that you're speaking about.
Yeah.
And I don't want to put them on blast, but that's not us. If you click on our channel name and you watch our videos, you'll see that's not us. You have us confused with somebody else.
Yeah, but what's the whole point of just pretending to be a girl and just enticing these predators to do things?
Because we'd rather it be us than a real child.
I mean, if you're kind of tricking them, isn't that
You're fucking right, we're tricking them. You're absolutely right, we're tricking them. We are not a 13-year-old girl. Thank God we're not a 13-year-old girl. But these kind of people that would react in the way that they react to a child in that fashion deserve to be exposed. The people around them should know that they should not feel any degree of confidence in leaving a child alone around them. I'm sure that must make sense to you, right?
Yeah, but let's all admit here, we were all attracted to 13-year-olds at one point. I was personally attracted to them when I was 13 myself.
Yeah, when I was 13.
Yeah, but I was still, I mean, it's just kind of weird that you're tricking them. I mean, they're human beings too,
Well,
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of trick, but our actual post itself, we're like, we like horses, we like lime green, we like kid shows. I mean, it's not like we're acting like we're an adult and saying we're 13. We're acting like a 13-year-old. And
Right.
I mean,
there's a difference.
You have people like freaking. I mean, I hate to use the boy here, but you have people like LeBron James that has, let's just say, an 8-inch cock at the age of 13, and now.
If you drop that word again, I'm gonna have to kick you off here.
13-year-olds know what they're doing. I mean, freaking, you just have some of these NFL players that are just freaking giants at 13, and you're saying, so how do you distinguish between the ones that know what they're doing and don't? You know what I mean?
I mean, they know what they're doing. When you're an adult, you know what you're doing. I mean, I think at 16, I, in my own mind, would have said, no, I'm not sleeping with a 13-year-old. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but like, like, how did, like, okay, like, nobody would get mad if, theoretically, say LeBron James was gay at 13. I mean, this dude has an 8-inch cock and he's freaking huge. I mean, that's a grown man. So how do we distinguish between a grown man and, that kid? Which I agree do exist.
I'm not sure I entirely understand your question
Some
here.
people are more developed at 13 than others.
Okay,
You know
no,
what I mean?
fair. Okay.
Right.
Nope, I 100% understand where you're going with this now. The difference there is we immediately, we don't wait, 5 texts in to tell them, hey, I'm 13. We tell them that we're 13 right off the bat, right out of the gate. We go, listen, I want you to know up front that I'm 13. I'm sorry I didn't tell you that in the ad. I just didn't want people to tease me. It's a little embarrassing, but we tell them immediately that we're 13. And I don't care what somebody's picture looks like. I don't care if maybe they have bigger breasts or whatever than a normal 13-year-old. As soon as somebody says 13, the instant reply should be, young lady, you shouldn't be on here and you need to find yourself some help. And we get that response a lot. Oh my God, I think we should do an entire video on the guys that do the right thing. That go, listen, you need to find yourself some help. You're going to get hurt on here. Guys typically only want one thing type of deal. We do have some people that actually respond appropriately. It's not about how somebody looks. When they go, I'm 13, that should be the end of it. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I can see. I mean, I've seen a lot of your videos, and I think I got you and Predator posters mixed up and stuff.
Yep, you did. I wasn't gonna drop the name.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely correct.
Right. But
And we have very, very, very different styles on how we operate.
Very.
Yeah, I mean, I think both of y'all are assholes, but like what I'm saying is, like, okay, I've seen some of the predators you confront, and they look like morons, man. So how do you know they're not mentally retarded and get 31 from 13? Like, how many times do you tell me you're 13? Like, what if they're dyslexic and say 31, or maybe
Okay.
if it's a boy or a transgender girl,
Yeah.
13 and 18, like, how do you distinguish that?
Okay, fair. Can I reply?
Go ahead.
Okay, my reply to that is this. Almost, and I can't say on every occasion, but I would say 90% of the time, they say something like, make sure you delete your messages. I don't want your parents to find them. Or they'll say, you're not a cop, are you? Or they'll say, I could get in big trouble for this. They make statements that instantly let us know that they're aware that we're 13. And not only that, but they're aware that it's illegal and that it's not okay.
Yeah, I mean, I especially, like, I don't know, like, isn't there a distinguishable difference between a single-digit number and a double-digit number? Like, is 10 and 30 that off like that? Like, I don't understand. Like, double digits and singles, like, obviously, I think if you're messing with a 9-year-old, you need to be castrated. But I think 10 and up, I mean, that's a double-digit number. You know what I mean?
So you, let me just make sure I'm understanding, and we're gonna keep things very respectful, and you've done a pretty good job of that too. So are you saying that we won't even go with 10? Let's go with 13.
Yeah.
Do you think that a 13-year-old, we'll go with young girl just because that's been so far the nature of our catches. Do you think that a 13-year-old girl is able to distinguish the difference between somebody that truly cares for her versus somebody that just knows the right thing to say to work their way into her panties? I don't think that 13-year-old girl stands much of a chance against, say, a 40-year-old man. I think that 40-year-old man has more real-world experience and can be far more manipulative into making a 13-year-old feel as though, this is somebody that really cares about them. When in fact, they don't care at all. They just want to get it in, so to speak.
But like, here's where I don't see your logic on that. Okay, so you have 13 and 40, like in this scenario, right?
Yep.
So 1 plus 3 equals 4, then 4 plus 0 equals also 4. So I don't see, like, you know, and they're also double digits. I'm sorry. It's Predator Poachers, man. I was just fucking with you, bro. Have a good night.
Everyone's saying they think it's Alex. Sounded like him too.
Ay. Well, if that's what he wants to do, let him do it. Hey guys, thank you so much for sticking with us tonight. We've enjoyed, engaging with you folks. The meaningful calls that we've had. Alex, sometime it would be wonderful if you just called as yourself and we could actually, discuss, what we're doing together.
You're welcome.
Here. Yeah, you're welcome.
We figured it was him.
But can I tell you something? And I mean this, Alex. Somebody that helps with our channel, just for people that might not know the backstory, heard me make a statement about one particular video that I felt personally, and I am not the end-all, be-all, say-all person, but for me personally, that I thought was too far. And then that person went and put on a version of their video, kind of calling it out. And that wasn't something that we went and said, hey, do this. And we took it down, and we talked to Alex, and we let him know, I don't think Alex is a racist. I think that it's pretty clear he's not a racist. If you look at the people in his videos, his friends that are helping him do this, you'll see that they're from all different nationalities.
He said, dude, I'll do that next time. I was on FaceTime with my friend, and we just wanted to troll. Yes, go ahead.
Well, so anyhow,
Thank you,
we took the video down right away. We had a chat with Alex. We let him know, I don't think you're a racist. I think that one video was too far. I think some of his other videos are edgy. You know what? Listen, we talked to you guys about shining the light, and that you guys are the light, and that you have to have people to watch the content before you're actually exposing anybody. So I get that being edgy adds to that. I get that. No problem there. And it was just that one video. But yeah, you guys will notice that we just have different styles where we go about things differently. It's not to say who's better, who's worse. It's not a dick measuring contest, anything like that. So anyhow, next time, Alex, I think it would be great if we just talked about, I bet we have more in common than we have in different. Anyhow, thanks everybody for giving us a shout tonight. Thank you everybody who donated tonight. Thank you everybody that shared a link, that shared us on their social media, so we can try to make that light brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter. We will see you guys on Wednesday, probably between 10:30 and 11 o'clock. From me, Sophia, and Squeaka.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.